Hi everyone, it's Barry here from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today and thank you for joining me for this week's Fun Fold Friday. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can make a hideaway card. So it's a card, and as the title says, with a little bit of a hideaway and a surprise on the inside. So that's what I'm going to be showing you how you can do step by step in this video. I will be using a variety of products, so do remember you can purchase your Stampin' Up! Craft supplies from us via our online shop, so the link can be found on the screen right now. So just head over to mitosukcrafts.com/shop and you can order your Stampin' Up! Craft supplies from us there. So if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, Austria, Belgium or Ireland, that is where you can go. So do bear that in mind if you like anything you've seen me use today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go camera down and let's crack on with today's hideaway demonstration. So the products I'm going to be using today, I'm going to be using mainly the Country Flowers stamp set with the Country Flowers dies. I'll be using one of the little banners from the Happy Little Things die set right here, and I'm going to be using the Happy Birthday sentiment from the Country Birdhouse stamp set. I would also be using the Lily Pond Lane Designer Series paper, which is this one right here. So we've got a lovely variety of some nice colours in here, obviously wildlife, so it's kind of, as the name says, Lily Pond Lane, so you've got your ducks and you've got some frogs in there and kind of like pond related images, but you've also got some really nice plain images as well, some florals, some plain colours in there, so you've got a variety of things which you can do with this particular pack. So that there is the Lily Pond Lane Designer Series paper pack, which I will be using. I will be using Pretty Peacock as my card base for this card as well, so I'll go through the measurements for you right now. They will be in centimetres, so I will pop the inches will be down below, so do keep an eye out for that if you prefer them in inches. So what I've got here is I've got my card base, which is measuring 14 centimetres by 21 centimetres, and I've scored that in half at 10.5 centimetres. So that there is your standard card base, is what you're going to be using. I would also have this part here, which is going to be your mechanism for your hideaway on the inside. This one here is 19 centimetres by 4 centimetres. You would also need two pieces which are your fold outs. So these are measuring 6.3 by 5.5, and you'll need two of those. And I would need one piece which is my hideaway part, which is 12 centimetres by 6 centimetres. And for your other pop-up mechanism which you've got on the inside here, you would then need 8.5 centimetres by 2.5 centimetres. So they are all the pieces you need. Now you will get all of this out of one piece of one piece of A4 cardstock. So if you, it's one piece is all you're going to need. Okay, so as I mentioned anyway earlier on, this part here you need to just fold and burnish at 10.5 centimetres. Once you've done that, just pop that to one side. Bring out your mechanism for the inside of the card, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to score this at 1 centimetre and then also at 2.5 centimetres. So that's on the long edge, so that was 1 and 2.5. Then turn it round so it's on the long edge, and then you would then want to then score it at 6.5 centimetres both sides. And what you can see I've gone and done there is I've scored it at 6.5 centimetres from the top down to the first score line, and then at 6.5 centimetres from the bottom up to the score line. And just repeat that there on both sides. So again, that's 6.5 centimetres here, then turn it around and then do it at 6.5 centimetres again, but only go to that score line first. Okay, so that's what you're going to need to do with that one. Before you do any cutting, what you're going to need to do is just grab yourself a ruler and a pen, and you're going to want to mark this at 1.5 centimetres on. So you've got to just explain this a bit more to you. You've got two pieces. These two pieces are exactly the same size, and this one is slightly smaller, so making sure that you've got your smaller part at the top, and you're going to want to mark at 1.5 centimetres from this mark here in, and you want to do that on both sides. Okay, so you can see there I've done it to put my pen mark at 1.5 centimetres to 1.5 centimetres. When you've done that, you then want to then draw a line from here to the corner and from here to this corner right here, and again do that on both sides. Those lines are just for guidance, so they're going to be score. We're going to have to manually put some score lines in these in a moment. Okay, so we will do that once we're on the next part. So once you've gone ahead and you've gone and done that, then what you want to do is you then want to cut away these four corners. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, so that there is now what you're left with. Now we can now bring our score lines in. So you're going to need to bring your trimmer in, or whatever it is you find easier for scoring. And I'm going to just line this line up with my channel in my trimmer, and then I'm just going to score up to that score line there. So it's quite straightforward. So I'm just lining it in like that. And then I'll bring my score in, and then I'll just score this. So you can see now I've now got those score lines in. So those pen marks were just for guidance for me lining everything up. So that there is now what I've got. Now what you can do is you can go ahead and then you can then fold this piece and that piece. So we've now like that, and then we just need to manipulate these in. So it's a little bit fiddly, but just work with it. You kind of just need to just move one over, and then the other one tends to naturally going anyway. So it's to come out like this, and then you want to then fold it so you've got like so, and then repeat that on the other side. And that there is now your mechanism. Okay, so we can go ahead and we can then, once we've done that, we can stick this into our card base. So once you're happy, we will stick this in. So you've got the part here, which is this flat part. This, we don't want to stick this down, any of this down just yet. It's on this side which we're sticking down, and it's going to go onto the inside of your card. But before we do that, we need to stick some designer series paper into this. So for your designer series paper, what I've got here is I have got two pieces measuring 13 centimeters by 9.5. So we need to decorate the inside first. Once you've got that part decorated, then what you want to do is grab your mechanism, and you want to pop some glue on this side here. So I'm holding on to that tab part, and then I'm just going to pop some glue along that, and then I'm then just going to then position this along score line centrally. Once you've done that part, then we can then pop some glue on this part only, so avoid the tab. So avoid the tabs, we want to pop some glue on this area here only. Fold the card over, and just let that stick down. You may just want to just test it first, and that's going like that. Okay, but now what I recommend you do is you just leave that for a minute or two just to dry up, because obviously we're putting some tension on this, so we want the glue to dry and stick first before we add any more tension to it. Okay, so just leave that like that and come back to it in a couple of minutes. Okay, so whilst that part is getting nice and stuck, and before we move on to the next part, we can then stick our decoration down on these pieces. So we've got our fold out pieces, and we've got some designer series paper here. So you're going to need two pieces of designer series paper, measuring 5.5 by 4.7. So you'll need two of those, and then go ahead and stick those onto your fold out pieces. Then you will need another piece here which is measuring 5.5 by 8.5, and that can then stick onto your hideaway part. And then you would then need another piece which is measuring 5.5 by 1 centimeter, and then that can then get stuck onto that part right there. So just go ahead and do that now. So that's those parts now ready for you. Now, just as a little tip for you, you don't have to do this part, but if you have got one, if you've got a corner rounder, you'll just want to maybe just round one of the corners off. So when these stick on here like this part is going to go on the middle. So that's the corner which you're going to want to just round off, like so. And then do it on the opposite side. So when this is on this one right here, we want to round off this corner like that. So it just helps when they fold in on each other, just to make sure that they don't catch. You may also want to just make sure on the corner which is going to be the corner which is going to be touching each other, make sure that corner is really nicely stuck down as well, just so you don't have any parts catching. Then once you've got those pieces done, you can then go ahead and then stick these onto this. So just go ahead and just test that this is working. Okay, so this will fold flat, and then we open up, and then that's going to then pop out like so. So we're not putting any stress now on this because it's nice and stuck. So then go ahead and then stick these pieces on these little tabs right here on the side, that one and that one, like that. Okay, so that there, you can see that they just catch a little bit down there, but that's fine. It will hopefully sort itself out as we're going through. So once they're down, then we can then bring in our hideaway part. So this part here, we want to fold and burnish. So I'll just go through those scoring once again. So it will be at 1.5 centimeters and 3 centimeters. You want to score this one here. Okay, so your hideaway part, 1.5 centimeters and 3 centimeters, and then we can then go ahead and then we can then stick that to this tab. And then once you've gone ahead and done that, we can then stick this part down. And what I've obviously just going to realise, so I have just going to stuck the designer series paper to the wrong piece. I stuck it to that piece when I should have stuck it to this piece right here. So if you've already gone ahead and stuck that part down, apologies for that one. You need to pop it onto this piece right here. Okay, so what you want to do now is you then want to then stick some glue on this end tab right here. And then you then want to then just fold it over so it's like this. Then close the whole thing up. So I'm just going to go like this at the moment. And then let the tab naturally fall where it wants to go. And then stick that down. And then when we open it up, that there has then stuck to your correct area. Okay, and that there is your hideaway pop-up part. So for that one, so it opens up. So you can have this card leaving it like this, and you can either have it in this orientation so that it opens up like this. Okay, but I'm just going to add another element to this. Now these parts do catch a little bit, so I'm just going to be able to just warn you on this. They do kind of catch. You kind of do just need to just make sure that they just need a little bit of tweaking. I haven't quite worked out how to. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So it really depends sometimes on your gluing on that. So just bear that in mind. But my idea is that the card is going to be displayed like this. Hence why I'm going to do the next part right now, which is this pop-up part. So I've got my part here, which was measuring the pop-up, which was measuring 8.5 by 2.5 centimeters. And I want to score this one here at 1.5. Let's do it this way around. 1.5, 6 and 7.5 centimeters. So again, that's 1.5 centimeters, 6 centimeters and 7.5 centimeters. Go ahead and then fold and burnish these. And then we can then stick this to the inside of the card. So I can then pop some glue on this tab here, which is on its own. And then I'm going to then butt this up against the edge like this. And then we then want to pop some glue on this tab right here. Have it folded over like that. And then bring the whole thing down and then stick that to it. And then when we open it up, we've got this part which is going to then pop up on this section like that. So it will kind of be displayed. My idea is going to be displayed like this. And then when it kind of catches, it kind of stops it from falling forward as well. So I'm using that little bit of a hindrance there just to help keep the card on display. So it's acting as a natural stopper. So that's that part. So for the decoration for this, we're going to go with the front of the card. So I've just got myself going to keep this really, really simple. And hopefully my method, my thinking will work out in a moment. So I've just got myself some of the pink designer series paper from the pack. I'm just going to stick this to the front like this. And what I've done is I've gone and cut myself, stamped and cut myself some of the bucket and the flowers on just normal basic white. And I'm just going to stick this on the front on dimensionals uncoloured for this one. It's going to look a little bit, I suppose, plain. Maybe somebody's going to go, oh, that's pretty, but maybe go odd. So that's what we're going to do. So that there is just literally just going to go on the front, because this is the part which isn't going to get displayed. But you kind of want to give somebody something, so it's on there. And it also sets a tone of what orientation you need the card to be opened as well, rather than it being like that. They naturally may want to open it like this and then come into that. Then what I've done is I've gone and done it's actually the same again, and this time I've gone and coloured them. And I've also gone ahead and I've gone and stamped my happy birthday and die cut it out with the happy little things banners. So I've got that one right there, and I've gone and cut it and coloured and cut it. We're going to pop some glue along that, and then we're then going to then pop our bucket or flowers on our bucket. And we'll then pop the happy birthday sentiments. Can just go along that like so, centrally. Okay, and then once you've gone ahead and done that part can then get stuck onto the inside of that pop-up part. We do just need to be careful, obviously, with it. We don't want it to be too high that it ends up popping outside of the card here. So that's my positioning. So just have a little bit of a think about that before you do that. We can then pop some glue on that piece right there. Stick that onto that pop-up mechanism at the back there, and just let that set up. Just test it quickly. You can see it's just popping out just a fraction there, so I just need to just make sure that's all the way down to the bottom. It's just coming out a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. So do just bear that in mind when you're sticking your flowers on or whatever it is, that the positioning isn't going to interfere too much when it comes out like that. So I'm not concerned by that part. And there we have it. That there is today's hideaway pop-up card for you. So very simple on the front, but when they open it up, you're going to be greeted with this on the inside. So easily displayed, that can sit like that. So you haven't wasted too much time or resources on the front, because that is technically going